I want to thank Mayor Johnson for his undying love and support in keeping this Juneteenth holiday relevant, inspiring, and most importantly, educational here in the city of Chicago. One of the greatest attributes that we as African Americans have is our continued mission to endure, overcome, and achieve, all of which is so significant to raise this flag. But it's imperative to not only raise the flag, but to acknowledge our ancestors as it relates to how we got here. Juneteenth marks our country's second Independence Day, an acclamation of our ancestor prayers, tears, and drive to bring us to celebrate on today. America is the country it is today because of the hundreds of years of free labor that our ancestors gave unwillingly. Hello, reparations. We will not be ashamed of who we are and what we have overcome. The raising of this flag validates and solidifies our culture, our sense of style and swag, our brilliance, and our perseverance to continue to inspire the masses. The Bible explains that without vision, the people will perish. I am honored, I am grateful, and I am blessed to now introduce the ultimate Juneteenth commander and chief here in the city of Chicago. Won't you stand and welcome our fearless leader, Mayor Brandon Johnson.
Thank you very much. It is still morning by a couple of minutes, so good morning. Please be seated. Thank you, Alderwoman Coleman, for that new title. You know, I love black people would just add another responsibility to your name, won't they? The Commander-in-Chief of Juneteenth. Thank you so much. And thank you all for being here today. I want to thank and recognize, of course, the City Council Black Caucus, the Juneteenth Planning Coalition, and of course, to all of our community partners as we raise the Juneteenth flag today. Thank you to all of our state reps and state senators, our Cook County commissioners that were here today, and of course, our city clerk, the proud West Side daughter. Our city clerk, y'all show her some love, clerk. Could you stand up and be recognized? City treasurer, I'm sorry, city treasurer. Our city treasurer, my bad. Our city treasurer is here. So as Alderwoman Coleman has already expressed, you know, those of us who are descendants of slaves, we recognize this moment as an opportunity to fully express what liberation is really about. And this holiday has become a way to honor not just the end of slavery, but to really commemorate the beginning of a new era of independence, a new era of independence for black people across this country. And of course, during the Great Migration, my family was a part of the thousands of black Southerners who came north to seek refuge in the city of Chicago. And of course, we have historic neighborhoods like Hyde Park and the Bronzeville community, just to name a few. But we didn't just come here to establish ourselves in neighborhoods. We came as scientists, as artists, as innovators, as leaders, activists, and creators of culture. Creators of true heritage that, of course, we celebrate around the world. And if it weren't for those who made that journey, the black leadership that you see in Chicago and Cook County and throughout this country, you would not see it. And I certainly would not be the 57th mayor of the greatest freaking city in the world if it were not for our ancestors. But like many cities across this country, Chicago still bears the scars of systemic racism and injustices that have been inflicted on our communities. We've seen them in highways that cut through black neighborhoods and the industries, of course, that flock to these neighborhoods, often contributing to increased pollution and poor health outcomes. We see it in the trauma, of course, that is caused by gun violence. But we also saw it firsthand with the gross disinvestment that was intentional by previous administrations. And so beautiful neighborhoods like mine, the Austin neighborhood, has seen many health disparities, the lack of nutritious food, the lack of employment opportunity. The disinvestment in our communities have been intentional. And of course, that's why it's imperative that it is now the time to deliver good on reparations for people of Chicago, and particularly black people of the city of Chicago. Because even as I stand here today as mayor, the legacy of slavery and the aftermath still echoes today. We saw it when previous administrations sold off public assets. We saw the harm when previous administrations closed black schools and they shut down public housing, when they raided the pensions, these anti-black, anti-business endeavors that have caused tremendous harm and pain. But it's a new day. In fact, we are standing on the shoulders of one of the great leaders of this city, Dorothy Tillman, who laid the foundation and the groundwork to ignite a movement for reparations. It was Dorothy Tillman that introduced me to Dr. Claude Anderson, Black Labor, White Wealth. And it is why my administration is committed to driving reparations home. And we're going to invest $500,000 into the study of restoration and reparations for the city of Chicago so that we can begin to move in the direction of complete liberation. And that's why, with the help and the support of the Black Caucus, we have a brand new Office of Reentry, added $5 million to make sure that the formerly incarcerated find jobs and housing and counseling and the full support that they need. And then finally, we recognize the victims of John Burge who were tortured. It's a painful reminder of the unjust incarceration system that we have and the mistreatment of black people in particular through our so-called criminal system. Reparations will be an investment in our neighborhoods and our people. Reparations will unlock the doors for prosperity to fully flow through the neighborhoods that have been disinvested in for decades. And as we grapple with the challenges and the hard-fought victories to get to this point, we must never forget our goal to make sure that reparations become a reality for black residents of this city. We are a powerful people, particularly when we come together. Whether it's through slavery or segregation, systemic racism, the disparities, the mass incarceration, we have stayed in this fight. We have remained resilient. We will not be turned around. We will not allow our people to continue to be subject to the painful reminder of what anti-blackness has done to the people of this city and to this country. We will allow our people to make sure that they can grow and that the harm that has been done against our people for generations, that we can bring that to an end. It's important to remember that reparations will not only serve for the benefit of black people, but the entire neighborhood in which black people exist in. We will create inclusive opportunities so that we all can win. Reparations will ultimately help us build a better, stronger, safer Chicago. We must acknowledge, however, that the institution of chattel slavery and Jim Crow laws, the post-civil rights era policies, have not just formed discrimination against black Chicagoans, but they have resulted in generational systemic inequities in education, employment, wealth, housing, health, safety, and so much more. We can't just simply blow past the harm that has been promulgated by generations, on generations, by previous administrations. And we cannot stop our fight for true restoration because there are clearly forces that wish to continue to divide us. These institutions have harmed. The very institutions in which we represent today have harmed black people. And so on behalf of the city of Chicago, I apologize for the historic wrongs committed against black people in Chicago. On behalf of the city of Chicago, we apologize not just on behalf of black folks who have been harmed, but their ancestors who never saw this day. But as today, though, I stand here with leaders and champions of reparations. I stand here with leaders and champions who recognize that whether it's a $1.25 billion bond, or whether it's the fact that we have the blackest administration in the history of Chicago, or whether it's $250 million to fight this housing crisis, or whether it's the fact that we are pouring hundreds of millions of dollars to hire our young people. I stand here today proud to sign an executive order that creates the Reparations Task Force to support the strategy, the implementation, and the engagement of Chicago Black reparations agenda. Thank you very much. God bless you, and God bless the blackest city in the world, the city of Chicago.
Yes, right. Lift every voice and sing till earth and heaven ring with the harmonies of liberty. Let our rejoicing rise high as the listening skies, and it resound loud as the rolling sea. Sing a song full of open heavens. Sing a song full of presence. Facing the rising sun of our new day begun. Let us march on till victory.
The Juneteenth Planning Coalition and the honorees, you are up next. But if we can have the alderman on stage and city clerk. Treasurer. We can have the alderman, city clerk, and treasurer on stage. City council's alderman, city clerk, and city treasurer. If we can get you on stage as soon as possible, it's very hot out here.